Yo, what's up everybody, Tweets here. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make your very own custom houses or buildings and whatnot, map assets. So, first thing, like all my other tutorials, in your P drive, create your folder. Inside there, you're going to have a data folder. And in there is where you're going to put all your RV mats, textures, your model turn fade, all that stuff. I've shown how to do the textures and the RV mats many times on my previous tutorials. There's like 70 of them now. If you just click on my playlist on my channel, DayZ Modding tutorials, they'll all be there. Or if you join my Discord, they're all posted in all my tutorials channel in my Discord. So you can watch all that if you need help with texturing. But once you get all your textures converted over, you make your RV mats, then you're going to import your model. Now, I have already went through and I set this whole house up the last couple of days and I've already completed it. Now I'm going to show you the steps that I did to do it. Now, I know sometimes it can be a little overwhelming with tutorials or following along. So that is why I always include the raw files in the description. You can download them and you'll have this exact file that I'd made and you can work from it and use it to reference and whatnot to see how it was done. Now I'm just going to show you the steps that I took because it's going to be like important just about anything else, especially my tutorial for a openable container. This is going to be very similar. There are some more tedious parts with geometries, and I'm going to show you all that. So, first things first is you're going to import your model into Object Builder. Once you get your model in, your first priority will be to set up your textures on there, to apply all your textures in RV mats. Once you have all that done, you'll go through, pretty much just go through and apply all your textures in RV mats, like I've shown in previous videos, by just selecting parts of the model and hit E and apply. Sometimes you'll get lucky and models will be separated into different selections when you import them, and it'll tell you like a sample of the PNG that they used, and then you can apply your PAA, your texture. Once you get your textures and your RV mats applied, what I tend to do after that is I'll bring up Bulldozer so I can see it once it's all applied properly. And then you can check, make sure everything is proper, the texture looks fine, everything's where it's supposed to be, and then you're good to go. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is you want to select just your doors, so each one at a time. But first, before you do that, save your P3D. So save it as, I called it sample house, in your P drive, in your data folder, and save it. Now that that is saved, you can select just your doors. So you're going to want to just select your first door one at a time. Make sure you get any handles as well. And then once it's selected, check in Bulldozer to make sure it's the only thing showing. Now, ignore that little proxy there. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But make sure your door is the only thing showing. Everything else will be faded. Once it's showing, your first door, you're going to right click over here and give it a new selection and call it doors. So it's the first door, DOORS 1, and then hit enter to save it. I've already done it, so I'm not going to save it. And then you're going to do the same to any other door. So select the second door here. Make sure you get any handle and whatnot that goes with it. Check in Bulldozer to make sure it's all selected, and then again, new selection. This will be the second, so doors, DOORS 2, and then enter. Now that that's done, you should have your doors separate like that. When you click on doors 1, just the door will show. Doors 2, just the second door will show. Now we're using vanilla names. Doors 1, doors 2, and so on. And that is also a good way where you won't have to do any action scripts or anything for the animation. So, once you have that done, you made your doors selections, we're going to start making a model.cfg, which I've already made here for a house. So, this is a 2-door. Now, if you need a sample, you can, obviously, you're going to have this file to work from. But if you ever need other samples, write up your material tools, eliteness, and then you'll see your P drive, DayZ, go to structures, and then look for a house model similar, and then open it up, and then to the right you'll see model.cfg. You can copy that and use work from it. Now, anyways, so this has 2 doors. So what we're going to do is the top skeleton, 2 doors. Now, if you have one that has 4 doors, just change the 2 to a 4, skeleton, 4 doors. And then you'll add, this one only has 2 though, so I'm keeping it. You'll add your doors 1, doors 2 to the bones. If you had 4, then you'll add in between the parentheses, doors 3, and then same thing here, doors 4. That's if you had 4 doors, but I don't. So now we're going to copy that class, and you're going to have it under skeleton name right underneath your actual model, and you're going to paste it right there for skeleton name. Now, the reason we saved first is so we can get our model name, P3D name, from our P drive, and put our change the class name to your P3D name. Now, you're going to add these selections. I forgot I'm not using that, so let me get rid of that. So, you're going to add your doors 1 and your doors 2. Now, before you continue on, we're going to go back to the model, and we're going to start setting up the action, the axis, and then you can add it to your model.cfg. So for now, you should have just done skeleton, your class name, and up here on your bones, doors 1, doors 2. Now go back to your model. Now, we're going to go create a memory lod. Now, in your memory lod, this is where you're going to make your action points for your doors. So first things first is what you'll see I already did, but I'll show you how to do it. I zoom into one of my doors. Now you can kind of see the yellow background to show your main lod, which if you don't have that, go to options and tick on view background lod and then hit OK. And then you'll see it. What I did was I put my mouse kind of a little bit left of this little hinge. You can see that this is one of the hinges. And I hit insert. Then I did again to the right of it, and I hit insert again, made 2 points. Select both those points that you just made. Try to make sure they're lined up. You want them nice and lined up like that. With both of them selected, you're going to hit Shift, left Shift, D, and it combines them. And you're going to put that kind of centered, kind of right there on your hinge. And now the top view here, which is this bottom left square, this one here, you're going to zoom to get close to your door, where your door is. So I just see that this is my door because here's the handles and then here's the door. So I'm going to drag that and put it right on the corner, right on the end. And now I'm going to copy it, paste it, go back to the front view, which is the top left square, look for the bottom hinge, drag that down, the pasted one, boom, and get it lined up. You can line it up with the top view here, so it's lined up with the top one, which would be this one here. Get them both selected now. So you got the top point that you just made and the bottom point. And then you're going to go over, create new, call it doors 1, that's the first door, underscore axis, and hit enter. I already did it, so. Now that we have that, let me get rid of what I just did, because we don't need it. Now you did that, so you got your axis. Now, what you're going to need is a point in the middle of your door, kind of in the middle. So you're going to create another point, same way, hit insert, and then drag it kind of in the middle of your door. And then that is going to be just doors 1. So I don't need that point here now, but oops, wrong one. But you're going to create that point, and you're going to create a new, there we go. You're going to create a new name, and you're going to call it doors 1. So you'll have doors 1 and doors 1 axis. Once you have those points put, now I'm going to go by the handle of that door. And I'm going to create another point somewhere by the handle. You'll see, you'll have to move around your model, your views here. Now this other point is going to be your doors 1 action. So same thing as making the other point. You just hit insert, put your mouse, hit insert, put it where you want it, and then create new, and then doors 1 underscore action. But I already did it, so once you have those actions, your axis, and your doors 1, you'll have 3 points. You're going to save your model. Again, go back to your main lodge, select your whole model, go to your model.cfg, and add those into your potential axis section. So you're going to have doors 1 action, doors 1 axis. Now under here, animation, you're going to do the same thing. Class doors 1. It doesn't matter if that's capital there because this is just for your animation class. But you're going to want it to be the same as in your P3D for the source, selection, and axis. So you're going to go set your animation doors 1, source, type will be rotation, source doors 1, selection doors 1 and axis doors 1 axis. It's telling the game which points in your memory LOD and which point in your main LOD to read. And then you're going to go through and you might have to adjust these numbers. But first, what you do after you set your doors, because you're going to have to go through and do your other doors too, the same way I just showed you with your memory points. So once you got that door, do the same to all your other doors, and then add those same points to your model config like I did here. Doors 2 action, doors 2 axis, then the class, doors 2. Set up your animations for it the same way you did doors 1. Once you have that all done, you're going to save your model config. Make sure your model's been saved. Go to your main LOD, select it, bring up Bulldozer, and then use your mouse wheel, and your doors will open and close. Now, if it closes or opens the wrong way and it goes inward instead of outward, then go back to your model config and go to angle 1 and give it a negative. If it has a negative, then delete the negative, and then it'll open the proper way. Same with your other door too. Now, you're not going to be able to see your other door in Bulldozer. In Bulldozer, it only selects the first one. So you'll only see your door 1 open. Your door 2 won't open. But don't get discouraged. Don't think it's broken. It's most likely not broken. You'll have to test that one in game though. But if you just see it animating and it looks fine, then you should be good. The animation's working. So, once you have the animations done, then it becomes the fun part. So, now, the fun part, geometries. Well, let's finish the memory LODs. So, you got your doors all done. What I also added was sound rain object tinner 3. So I added these 2 points on the roof, right here on the very tip of my roof, 1 on each side. So I have 1. So if I rename it, you'll see that it's sound rain object tinner 3 metal 1_1. And then the second one is the same thing, sound, but it'll be _2. Now, you can just copy these points out of my model if you want and paste them in yours and line them up with your roof, which is what I did. So I have them right on the roof line. And that's for like sound of when the rain's hitting the roof. Now you're going to need to add that as well to your model.cfg. So I'm going to add that underneath the doors in order as they're seen on your memory LOD. Just like that. And that's it for your memory LOD. That's really all you're going to need. Okay, so now we're going to move to the geometry LOD. Now, the geometry LOD is going to be a little more tedious. It's going to be more time consuming. And that's why it is always good to have in the options, like I showed, view background LOD toggled on so you can see your model. Now, it's still going to be a little hard, but it's going to be hard and a little time consuming. So what you're going to do first, you're just going to see the model. You're not going to see any of these boxes. So, like if I delete this, you're just going to see this. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to start creating boxes. So create bots, hit OK. Now you're going to want to start with your doors. So find where your doors are. That's why I always use 4 views, so I can get all angles. So this will be the first door. You want to go in order the way you did your main LOD. So door 1. So you're going to want just over the door. Now what I did here is this 3 dots, select vertices under surfaces. I clicked that on so I can edit just part of the box and move it. And we're going to want to get just the door. Just like that. You want just the door. Once you have just the door, select the whole thing. Over here, you're going to create new. And you're going to call that doors 1, since it's the first door. Now, I've already done all that, so I'm going to just Control Z a couple times and get back to what I had. There we go. So you're going to want to do that for all your doors. So as you can see, I got doors 1 and doors 2. Now you're going to want to go through and do that. But for everything else, you're just going to create a bots. Go through, put your bots over portion of your model. Like I did the roof here. You're going to go through, create a bots, and just move it around and form it to your model until you end up with just a basic shape of your actual model. And inside too. So you want to make sure you don't want to create just a huge box and have it cover the whole thing, because then you won't be able to walk in your building. You want smaller individual boxes around your walls, your floor, steps. Your windows are separate, so you can see the lines in between. Yeah, all your walls. So that's what you want it to do. Now, if you have your selections like I just showed with the doors 1 and doors 2 on here, if you use your scroll wheel, you'll see that door open still, which is what you want. Now, once you have, it's going to take a little time, and you're going to be sitting here for a while until you get it just right. But once you have all your boxes in place, you'll select the whole thing, structure, topology, find components, and then it'll give you all your individual components, as well as you'll still have your doors 1 selection that you made, and doors 2, and whatever doors. Now, you're going to select the whole model, and then down here in the bottom corner, I see mass. Now, if you don't have that, go to Window, and then mass, or Alt+M. And I selected the whole thing, and I just gave it a big number. So I just did 15,000.000, which will give each individual component about 428.571 for the mass. Now you want to set your mass. So what I did was I just selected the whole thing, gave it 15,000.000, and then I hit apply. And then you'll see it change. When you're selected, you'll see these gray boxes. Before you do that, it'll only look like this. Once you add your mass, you'll see those gray boxes show up. Now, on your geometry, you're going to also want to add these properties. Map with a value of house. Damage with a value of no. Class with a value of house. So you just hit new, right click, hit new, and then boom. So you'd put map value of house. and then you hit OK, and you just do that until you have those three. Now that's your geometry. Now what you can do to make it a little easier is once you have all your components and your doors, you can just copy it. Bring it to your view geometry, paste it. Same with fire geometry. Now, in your view and fire geometry, once you have it pasted, so view geometry, I have property name lodnowshadow with a value of 1. You're going to have your whole thing selected, and you're going to give it penetration RV max. And you're going to do this for both view and fire. So you can do it in the view and then just copy view and paste it in fire. So what I did was first I selected the whole thing. It says majority of my model is wood. I'm going to go to material. I am going to go to DayZ in my P drive, data, penetration, and you're going to look for whatever. So wood. So I would get wood. Apply. And then, okay. Now, I would just select my roof. It's got kind of an aluminum roof. So I would hit E. Look for metal plate. Apply. And then your windows. Now, luckily, I did my windows first. I covered my windows. So you just select your windows, hit E, RV matte, material, and your penetration, and get glass. Apply. Okay. And then you could just copy and put it in your fire geometry with no properties in there. And then that'll take care of your geometries. Now to make sure your animations work, go into each geometry and scroll your wheel. Boom. And you'll see with the materials for the penetration that it is now colored differently. Now that takes care of your geometries. So that's your main LOD. You did your memory and your geometries. Next important LOD will be roadway. Now you're going to create a roadway, which new property, and then look for roadway, and then boom. So, which now I'm going to get rid of that I just made. All right, anyway. So in your roadway, you're just going to want pretty much surfaces of where your stairs are, your floor, and your roof. Anywhere you're going to be walking on, or you can stand on and whatnot. So if you have stairs, you're going to have another like surface. So what you can do here, what you do is you're going to create plane, which will give you just a flat box. And then you can start lining it up with what I did. So like for the roof. Same with how you did the boxes for the geometry. Get it lined up, but you're not doing a whole box, you're just doing the surface. So you're going to just keep doing that until you have what I have here, the surface. So the stairs, those front steps, you'll see I just did a line covering where the steps are, but it's the whole width of the stairway. And then my floor, it goes right to the floor, which is the whole floor, and then I got the ceiling. That's it. Then you're going to select it all, structure, find components. And then what you're going to do is select, so what I did with the floor and the stairs, because they're both wood, I hit E, and then add the PAA. So what you're going to do is add a surface PAA. So you're going to go to P drive, DayZ, surfaces, data, roadway, change TGA down here to PAA, and look for something like a surface that you're doing. Now the floor of mine is wood, so I'm going to hit wood plates EXT and hit apply. And then the stairs, I'm going to do the stairs. I am going to give it scroll down to S. Actually, they have stairs, and you got metal stairs. I want wood. Wood plate stairs, EXT, apply. And then the roof. Now this is an aluminum roof, so I went with metal thin, EXT. Apply. So it's just got a thin aluminum roof. Boom. Now you'll have your surfaces applied to your roadway. You have your components now. Then you're just going to add these two property names. So you're going to have class with a value of house and map with a value of house. And that covers roadway. So now you have your main lod, your geometry, your memories, your roadway, your view geometry, and your fire geometry all done. Now, what you're going to do, if you want to add furniture in your house, so like I got a table here. You're going to create, proxy, browse, P drive, DayZ, go to structures, furniture, and then go in there. So kitchen, I chose. Now you can do fridge. I did kitchen table, but so say I wanted fridge, I bring in the fridge proxy, and then I would line it up in my model in Bulldozer. So I would move it around until it was in position where I wanted it. Then you select your whole model, and then boom, you'll see it. And just get it in position. Once you have it in position, you're going to take keep adding whatever furniture you want. Once you have it, you're going to take those proxies and you're going to copy them. And you're going to put them in geometry. You're going to paste them in there. View geometry and fire geometry. Once you have that done, then it's just setting up res lods. So you're going to duplicate your main lod about 3 to 4 times. And then you're going to save it. And then that's the end. That's it. And then you bring up Blender. And I'll show you real quick how to do a res lod. So you bring in your P3D, import P3D, P drive, sample house. Boom. So there it is. We're going to go through and hide 0, and then geometry, memory, roadway, view geometry, fire geometry. And we're going to start 3, hide 3 and 2. Start with 1. So you click on the green little triangle, click the wrench, add modifier, generate, decimate, and then bring down your ratio a little bit at a time. So a little bit for the 1, then hide 1, then go to 2, green, wrench, add modifier, decimate, and then a little more for the second. Hide it, bring up 3, green, wrench, add modifier, decimate, and a little more. But you don't want to go too far where it looks like shit. You don't want it to look like poop from a butt. Okay, you just want it close enough. So it starts to look like crap, but not too bad. Then, once you have that, all of it done, you just show all your lods again, and then export it right over your P3D in your P drive. But export it as a P3D. So export P3D. And then right over your current one. And then boom. Now, that takes care of your model. That takes care of your model.cfg. Now, we're going to work with our trim fade. So, what you can do is get a trim fade from your P drive, DayZ, structures, find like a house. So like I said, I did, I'm working from the camp, so I'm going to grab specific, but you're going to want the top half. So it pretty much, you want your CFG patch part, this whole section with your, I did my folder name. So sample house, I got the class name, which under units, we'll go over the class name here in a minute. Required add-ons, you want DayZ data, DayZ scripts, and then close it out. That's your CFG class. You can also work from my config. You don't need to get the vanilla one if you don't want, but you just see that's where you would get it. You should just work from mine to make it easier. So then you get your CFG mods, which is the name of your folder in your P drive. So just copy the name of your folder and then put that under class, directory, name, and then path to your script. Just like that. Then you want your class name for your new house, land underscore, and then whatever you calling it. I did sample house. Then you path to your model. Then you're going to have your animation. So doors, this is just exactly how it is in the model and in the model.cfg. As you can see, class doors 1 with the capital D is right there. First 2. So we got doors. So we got doors 1, doors 2. Now, your display name, component, sound positioning, it's all going to be what's in your model. So you want it to match. So with doors 1 action for your sound. Same with doors 2. Now this here is for the actual sound, open, closed. I just copied from a vanilla. Init phase 0, because the model, the doors start closed. If you have a model, the doors open, and you configured it with the door already open, you want init phase 1. But since the doors originally are closed to begin with, keep it 0. You don't really have to change any of that. You actually won't really have to change any of this unless you're doing metal. Then you would find from a vanilla config and get the sound. But I got wood, so anyways, once you get those set up, I got wood. Anyway, you get those animations set up, then it's just damage systems for it all. And this is all just vanilla. I copied it all from the vanilla config, and I didn't change anything, not even the door, because I went with the vanilla selection, so I didn't even change the classes or any of that, which you wouldn't have to do for any of it. If you wouldn't have to change nothing, just your class name and your model path pretty much is all you'll have to change if you went with the vanilla doors 1, doors 2, doors 3, whatnot, like I showed you. But once you have your config all set up, close it out, save it, and then you're going to have a tiny, teeny scripts in for world that just has your class name, extends, built in with fireplace. You don't have to add anything else. This is it. So all you'll have to do is copy my script and just change the name and the class name. That's it. Put your class name. Done. Now that that is all done, it is a long process because mainly the geometries, like I said, they're a pain in the ass. But once you go through all that, you got your res lods done, you got your main lod, you got your textures applied, you got your selections, you got your proxies, you got your geometries, and all that shit, your roadway, all that fun stuff. Once you have all that done, you're ready to pack it and test it. So then you just pack it up and test it. Now that we are in game, we're going to want to test it. So we're going to bring up our tools, and I'm going to go to Object Builder. You're going to create a build set, which I already did. It's called test or whatever on your server. You create it, whatever, call it whatever. Toggle it on, and then we're going to spawn in our class name. So sample house, boom. And then we're going to start moving it around and get it in position to where you want it. So it looks good on the map. And I'm just going to go with that, just for testing. Alright, so now you're going to save that edit. Once you save your edit, now it's in. So first you're going to want to make sure, make your doors open, make sure you can't walk through anything, make sure all these geometries were good, make sure your second door opens, you'll see the furniture proxies that you added, you want to make sure you can't walk through them. Alright, so you're just going around, pretty much making sure your geometries are good. Next step, you're going to test your penetration rematch. So these should be wood. Yep. And this should be glass. There we go. Same with this other window. Yep. Just like that. Now, another thing. You got your admin tools on. Teleport to the roof. Make sure. Yep. And you can hear that it's metal. And I'm not falling through. That is good. So everything looks good. Everything sounds good. Now what you want to do, I'm going to put some dry clothes on. Oh, that is dry. Make sure I'm dry. I'm going to go inside. I'm going to make it rain. So let's just add a little rain. So now you want to walk around. You got rain. Walk around, make sure you're not getting wet, damp, or anything. And you're good. You can hear it. I'm on my porch and I'm still dry. That's because the geometry is from the top. So yeah, so that's it. Now everything's working. Everything sounds good, looks good, feels good, blah, blah, blah. Once you have all that, you're good to go. Now, if you have any questions, because I know this can be a pain in the ass, if you have any questions, you could join my Discord and ask in there. If your model, for some reason, after you made your res lods and then you load it in game and all of a sudden your textures look like crap, just open up your model in your P3D, select the whole thing on your main lod, hit W once, and then hit W again, and then save it, repack it, and retest it. And then your model should look fine. Other than that, I know it can be a little overwhelming following a tutorial. So that is why, again, I always provide the raw files so you can work from. So you will have access to this full file with everything in it. And they're all raw, so you can open everything up and work from. Other than that, that's it. That is how you make a custom house or building. Stay tuned for another video in the future, probably in another week. And I will show you how to get loot to spawn in your custom buildings. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.